What is going on, world? Welcome back once again. My name is Zach Novak and this is Zach Novak Plays Games. In today's video, this video should have gone up a little bit earlier, but as of usual, I'm late to the show and I'm still getting used to this YouTube thing. So, let's start things out with this video on the seasons and what is actually to come with the future of Destiny 2. So all the intros, let's get into this. Bunch of info which most likely you guys already know, but if you don't, hopefully you do enjoy. Let's get into this, let's do it. Alrighty, so after the live stream, there was a bunch of info that a lot of people did actually pick up. Now, let's start things off with the most basic of basic, pretty much what is coming with the seasons. Now, we do know that we are in Season 1, but there will actually be 4 seasons in themselves. Currently itself, Season 1 isn't too great, but they do actually state that Season 2 will slightly and most likely be quite a bit better than what we've actually been experiencing. Season 2 in itself will actually launch after the PC version has launched in itself, so that will be pretty kind of cool. The PC and the consoles will be on the same schedule and all that good stuff that is coming. Things are changing very drastically in Destiny with the seasons in themselves. Starting things out, the seasons in themselves will actually reset your clan progress. Everyone starts from 0 and you actually get different actual perks, different unlockables and things like that. Going through and actually establishing yourself in like high level clans and things like that is good, but there are actual perks for lower level clans, I guess, that are leveling up in itself to change. Depending on what season is actually happening, there'll be a different focus on what it actually is. This season at the moment, as we do know, is Cabal. Next season most likely I think will be Vex, probably because it's like Osiris kind of DLC and stuff like that. But the big change with seasons in themselves is when they actually turn over, there will be big tweaks and big changes that Bungie is making to the game. There'll be weapon balance changes, there'll be introductions to new content, new things we haven't actually seen in the game. There are a few specifications that we do want to actually kind of keep in mind and kind of keep in our actual head, is that Bungie is planning to push out weapon balance tweaks and things like that during the start of the seasons. So kind of keep in mind that when the seasons do change, the biggest meta changes will actually take place at the same time. So if there is a certain weapon that was good in Season 1, potentially it might not be as good in Season 2, Meta Multi-Tool or Meta Multi-Tool if you want to call it, but there is big changes in that in itself. I myself have to say, I'm really happy. There are just so many different things coming to Destiny 2. Let's start things off though with Season 2 and what we do know about Season 2 in itself. They're adding a bunch of ornaments, and when I say they're adding a bunch of ornaments, I honestly mean they're adding a bunch. There is Trials, there is Iron Banner, there is Faction Rally gear, there is a couple of others that are just like kind of coming out, like Dawning and stuff like that. It's really cool. You actually get gear in itself through like the regular process of turning in tokens, but with ornaments in themselves, they'll work slightly differently, and it won't actually be something where you have to kind of get the ornament in itself on the armor. What you're gonna have to do is unlock the ornament, but to unlock the ornament, you're gonna have to complete some sort of challenge that most likely is tracked on the gear or on an actual emblem itself. It isn't really the biggest deal breaker for a lot of people when it does come down to things like that, but some people might actually take a different direction and take that step into just actually kind of, you know, going through and doing things at the regular pace and not trying to get as many as possible and running the actual freaking lost sectors over and over again, which is kind of what I did. But that in itself means that there is big changes coming to factions as well as Iron Banner and Trials. We do know that the next Iron Banner that is coming is going to be the last for Season 1. There isn't going to be any changes in that, but the next Iron Banner is going to have drastic changes and drastic new concepts. But before we actually do get into that, let's start things off with the Faction Rally. This is what we're going to see so far with the Faction Rally. It is called Rituals. Now these rituals will actually unlock these armor sets that are really kind of, I think, cool as hell. Like really cool. I have to say, the Dead Orbit set is just crazy cool. I really think this is what Dead Orbit should have looked like from the start. We've got the new Monarchy, which is just looking extra gold and extra shiny. And then finally, Future Walkout, which is stepping back from the clown armor and looking really freaking pristine, and definitely something that I myself might want to kind of step in and, you know, unlock, because that looks really freaking cool. But again, let's just look at the Dead Orbit. Yeah, that's my baby. I've been Dead Orbit since day 1 in Destiny 1. I'm probably going to be Dead Orbit till day whatever of Destiny 100. We'll see in the future. But that in itself really isn't the biggest thing as well. We've got weapons that are coming for the factions. Now these weapons in themselves will change up from certain things. Potentially you may have a kinetic weapon at the moment that will end up being an energy weapon when the actual faction rally does come around. It is a big change, and I myself think that this is going to be really, really cool. Let us just have a look at the slight, you know, details of weapons that we've seen so far. We got the New Monarchy, we got the Dead Orb, we got the Future War Cult, auto rifle, and a freaking linear fusion rifle. I think that thing is really freaking cool. Honestly, I'm going to be really, really hyped when this does actually come. However, they did actually give a really good example with the Iron Banner hand cannon. At the moment, it is currently a kinetic weapon, but they do state that in Season 2, it may come around as an energy weapon with different perks. So that in itself means that you may have a weapon that is from Season 1 that is the exact same as the weapon in Season 4. However, the perks and the look on it and the archetype could be completely different. But speaking of different, this is something that definitely is not different to Bungie's style. We've got microtransactions. Now these microtransaction based bright engrams that we have at the moment are going to refresh with Season 2, Season 3 and Season 4. We are going to see a vast change in most of the content that is available in bright engrams. We do get a little tease of what could potentially be available. We got the mic drop emote, which I think is, yeah, pretty cool, but still, I honestly think that, you know, the salt one is probably a little bit better, but still. Mic drop is pretty freaking cool if you're playing, I don't know, trials or something and you just 1v4. It's kind of cool. It's stuff like that that I think is like, you know, little subtleties that are pretty freaking awesome. But what else is pretty freaking awesome? Exotics. Now, the exotic emotes in themselves that are changing are pretty freaking cool. But the exotic ships that are coming in Destiny 2 Season 2 is just crazy cool. I honestly have to say that this one right here, that it just looks almost like a scorpion or something like that. It's really, really cool. We've also got this one that kind of looks like it's just been thrown together with a couple of different pieces and then welded on, and then it's got like some tassels or something. I think that's kind of unique. It's different, definitely. And there is also sparrows. Now the exotic sparrows that we do have at the moment aren't really too, you know, unique. However, the sparrows that are coming, like these that you can see on screen, definitely are something that I myself am really freaking hyped about. I do have to say, they look really, really cool. And this one right here is probably my favorite out of all of them. I don't know why, it looks kind of, I don't know, sleek and just streamlined and kind of almost iPhone-ish for some reason. Not saying it looks like an iPhone, but it's kind of like the whole thing of iPhone versus Android. Like iPhone is kind of like sleek, and you know, Android is kind of like just bulky but has a bunch of other things that it can do. So these other sparrows most likely can do a bunch of other things. However, this sparrow that looks like the iPhone can probably just do what a regular sparrow does. However, with Sparrow Racing League that could potentially be coming in the future, these sparrows may actually come in handy and may even be rewards from SRL of Season 2. We'll have to see in the future. But speaking of the future, this is the future of ghosts in Destiny. Really, Bungie, what is up with these ghosts? Honestly, they do not look very cool at all. One of them this one looks like a CD. I don't really get it. This one that everyone says, like, was saying you can actually rotate it and like see the universe in it. It kind of just reminds me of a gingerbread kind of thing. I don't know why. It's just, yeah, it's different. It's a different ghost, and they certainly are unique. I will say that they're not reskins of anything we have available. So good on you, Bungie, for not using reskins, but next time maybe make the ghosts a little bit cooler, like, I don't know, look like a pixie type thing or something that's not this, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what they actually look like in game when we do actually get them. But the things that we can get are pretty much limited with the seasons in themselves. As I did state before, there will be season specific cosmetic items that will drop during each season. So season 2, season 3 and season 4 will have different sets and different things. If you actually get a cool ship in season 1 or season 2, you won't actually be able to get it in season 3. Same with certain emotes, gear, ornaments and other things that you can actually buy from Eververse, including armor sets and things like that. The one exception that is actually staying the same and isn't changing are shaders, because they are actually in the consumable items area, and it's kind of one of those things where, yeah, they're not really changing, they're just adding new shaders with each season. But I think they need to kind of, you know, increase the amount of shaders that we can either carry or put in a bulk delete button, because I'm already at 50 and I max on pretty much a lot of them. We'll see what happens with that. When season 2 does drop, there's going to be more actual things we do see in the future from Destiny 2. One of the things they have actually teased, which we've seen already so far, which has been picked up on Reddit in like the last week or something, is called Clarion Calls. Now, these things are actually limited time global events that will actually give you XP bonuses if you go through and actually do certain things, actually unlock certain achievements, I guess. The example that Bungie actually gave was you can get a 2x XP buff by doing any event in a fire team with a clan member. They also said that in the future, Clarion Calls won't actually necessarily require a clan, but some of them in fact will. So yeah, some people might miss out on certain things, but some people will actually get them. So join a clan. It's kind of cool. If you want, join my clan, the Novakians. Click that link on my, you know, YouTube page, all that stuff. It'll take you there. Join up, do all that good stuff. You'll get, you know, free loot from like stuff, Crucible, Nightfall. I don't really do raids or trials, but you get free loot. So that's kind of cool. Join up if you want to. They also said though that with season 2 and season 3 as well as season 4, potentially and most likely, there will actually be new Crucible maps. There will be one new Crucible map in season 2 and it won't actually be, you know, kind of just blatantly put there. It'll work kind of similarly like the last few maps that we've had from Trials and the Iron Banner and the Leviathan the Raid, or stuff like that. It'll be something where it is triggered after a certain point and the map is unlocked, at which that point everyone will be available to access it. But quickly, just going back, I do want to state that during season 1, Bungie was actually doing its best to encourage players to join a fire team instead of, you know, kind of going through and doing things solo. You don't have to join a fire team, you can join a clan and potentially, you know, find some members that but maybe you can do an actual like Nightfall or a raid with, or just Crucible, you know, play around with, do all the good stuff like that. But yeah, Bungie is actually encouraging people with different forms of buffs for the fire team, and with the future giving players an incentive to, you know, be more sociable with other people. It's one of those things where it's kind of more fun to play the game with other people rather than just going through yourself. I do have to admit though, I like being a solo player, but the future is changing for Destiny. Speaking of the future changing for Destiny, something that is coming back from the past from Destiny 1 is the Dawning. This is actually returning for the winter event. It is going to have new armors, new activities. There's actually going to be the ability to play hockey in the tower, which I think is really, really cool. Players will also be able to, you know, throw snowballs, which actually do real damage to players and enemies. So potentially this could be a worrisome thing where you're just kind of going into a strike and killing your teammates. Don't do that. That is something that's kind of like, yeah, not a good thing. But if you can, maybe kind of just do it on the, like the down low and stuff and have a little bit of fun. They do state though that SRL, well, they didn't really state at all. There was really no word about it at all, really, at any point in the kind of live stream. There may be one in the future because we've got another 3 live streams coming, but there was no word about Sparrow Racing. Whether it'll actually make a return, we don't know. There's also going to be new armors that players can actually expect, with brand new shaders, brand new ghosts, sparrows, weapons and emotes that I talked about before. The event in itself will also affect the rest of the game world, so expect to see some large differences in certain places other than, you know, just the social spaces. There will be a big change in Destiny 2. With the Dawning in Destiny 1, it was a big event, it was really celebrated. And with Destiny 2 having the Dawning, it's going to be even better. It's actually expected to go live shortly after the start of Season 2. We've seen a few pictures so far, and we've been given a tease of what we can expect from the event. New maps will be added. Once the dawning finishes, the maps in themselves will then be added to the rotation, which is kind of cool. Including a few changes for the Trails of the Nine, it'll actually be given a brand new coat of paint during Season 2, and there'll be brand new weapons, brand new armors, different ornaments, and new perks on all. So that in itself is really cool for people that do play Trials. Now the big thing is with Season 2, the actual Dead Orbit, Future War Cult, and New Monarchy faction rally, it will be bigger than what we've seen before. These so far of what we've seen is pretty cool, but there's going to be a lot more, which I don't think Bungie is really going to show as of yet, but there are vast changes in the future. Going back though quickly and speaking about clans, during each season clans will actually unlock certain perks for completing tasks, which we've already seen that are announced by Bungie but not really explained in kind of full detail. Each clan in itself will have a new daily and seasonal milestone for events such as Iron Banner, the Dawning, Trials, the Raid, Crucible, pretty much everything. There'll be new perks on completing certain seasonal themed goals, which that in itself is going to be really cool for clans. And each clan in itself will actually receive new perks along with new banners and a seasonal staff, which I think is going to be pretty cool. We can kind of change out that regular kind of boring stuff. We'll be able to actually change up the banner slightly. Each season will feature brand new rewards, engrams, and a vast loot pool that will actually update. To keep things fair during the seasons, clans will actually also have a maximum level. This will also provide certain clans that have smaller numbers to have a chance at kind of keeping things up with larger clans that are actually, you know, completely dominating seasons where they're already at like level 6 in the first few weeks. But yeah, that happens in pretty much everything. Again though, clan ranks will reset at the start of each season, so kind of keep that in mind. Iron Banner, something that I kind of just briefly touched over before. Bungie did state that when we did Iron Banner before, there was 1,500 years worth of Iron Banner playtime. That is crazy. Like, what the hell? Anyway, they do actually say they realized the token system in itself wasn't exactly the best way to do things. They did actually kind of come to a decision where, along with certain aforementioned changes, perks, and stats that will actually be updated through the ornament system when they do get added to the Iron Banner, one more Iron Banner in itself is to take place, which I did state that is this one coming up. It is the last Iron Banner of Season 1 before we actually get the Season 2 Iron Banner, which will be a little bit kind of further away, but there are big changes coming. There's new gear, new weapons, new ornaments, a lot of new stuff. This is the ornament set that you can actually expect to get for the Iron Banner. This is, I think, really freaking cool. Definitely, this is a brand new set of armor, not a reskin, nothing like that. It is cool. However, the weapons in themselves are a reskin, but they are a cool looking reskin, like a really, really cool reskin. I do have to state that these look fresh as hell. As well as the whole thing that there's going to be new perks and stuff like that, which will be really, really nice. At the moment, we do know that the Iron Banner set is kind of samurai inspired. The next set, most likely, as we can see, is not so much samurai inspired, but it's still kind of, I guess, oriental. Still, I have to state, it looks really, really cool. The ornaments change it up completely. Players who actually don't participate in Season 2 Iron Banner, for instance, they'll still end up getting Iron Banner gear, but they won't actually be able to apply any of the ornaments from prior seasons onto that armor. So unlocking these ornaments will require certain players to complete a limited time event objective to actually unlock it. One of the examples is actually going flawless in the Trials of 9, winning 10 Iron Banner matches, and things are like this. So, not really too challenging with the Iron Banner matches, however going flawless in Trials, yeah, definitely something I won't be able to do. Finally, let's go back and look at the focus topics that we did see in this video. So, we had Iron Banner changes that are really freaking cool. We've got Trials of the Nine that is changing vastly for the future of Destiny 2. We've got the Dawning coming in only a few weeks. We potentially may even have a Halloween event that could come in maybe a week or two. We'll see what happens with that and if Bungie does anything, even though we haven't heard anything about it. But yeah, that's that's kind of it. We also saw things about clan changes, we saw Iron Banner gear, we saw Trials gear, we saw all brand new gear for Faction Rally, which really looks freaking cool. We haven't actually seen everything that Bungie does have under its hood. We do still have 3 more live streams to go before we actually kind of see the future of everything in Destiny. So keep your spinfoil hats on and keep actually thinking about what potentially could be coming in the future for Destiny 2. I myself am definitely thinking about a bunch of different things, like the Taken could be coming back, the stuff with Osiris. It's just a lot of different things that are happening. So, if you guys did enjoy this video, I would very much appreciate a like down below. Share this video around if you did actually find it informative. If you didn't, let me know in the comment section and I will try to change my stuff in the future. I'm sorry this video is going up slightly later than, you know, most people's videos, but that's kind of what I do. It is at the moment 1:07 AM while I'm recording this audio. I'll still have to go through, edit the video, actually get clips and stuff like that, and, you know, put everything together and make it look like it's a video. So, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, do the good stuff down below and I'll be cheering like Kieran if he was Ed Sheeran. But until next time, this is Zach Novak, signing off. Peace out.